We're good to go.
Hello, and welcome to the Visionary Leaders podcast. I'm Dr. Josie Schmidt, one of the founders, and we're thrilled today to have everyone here with us. You can join us every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time as we explore all things wellness, essential oils, and doTERRA. If you miss an episode, you can catch up anytime on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. And stay connected by signing up for our newsletter and text reminders at www.hellovisionary.com. Is that correct? I think yes, that's it. Okay.
No, it's .life.
Oh yeah, I knew something was wrong. Thank you, Aisha. Okay, so it's www.hellovisionary.life.
Correct.
Correct. Today, we are exploring our oils A to Z. We're excited to welcome Ariana Harley, along with our esteemed healthcare practitioners, Louise Rose, ND, Mika Carew, ND, LAC, and Will Wan, LAC. Together, they will guide us through an insightful exploration of Balsam Fir, the oil of strength and steadfastness, along with the holiday oil collection, because there's quite a few of yummy blends. So without further ado, let's take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, community, for being here, and thanks for a great intro, Josie. My name is Ariana Harley, and we have kind of a format we do on these calls, but today I'm going to switch it up. And Will sent me this gorgeous, gorgeous video of some traditional medicinal uses of balsamic fir from the Cree nation. And I really want to take a moment to thank our ancestors and our relations in this world for the knowledge and the medicine that they've given us. We would not have the wisdom and the knowing without the people that came before. And so much of our recent scientific knowledge is based on what people already were studying, before any of us were ever born, thousands of years ago. So I want to play this video for you. Perhaps Mika or Will, you would be able to speak the traditional name for balsam fir. I don't know if I'll pronounce it right. Maybe you could give it a go. And I will pull up that video. So just give me a moment. But if one of you has it, it would be great to hear it out loud too.
From what I have pulled off the research, it's named as Iashi. So it's a Cree word, ultimately describing balsam fir.
Thank you. I was saying it out loud at home, but I got shy to try to say it in front of you all. So thanks for speaking it. And let's just take a moment. I love the learning of also how to relate to medicine. So I hope you find this as just beautiful as I do.
Ariana, is there sound?
Yeah, can you not hear it?
No.
It's just music.
Okay.
So I'm not sure why you can't hear it, but you'll still get the message.
Okay. It's kind of barely coming through, but not clearly.
It's very soft and sweet.
Okay.
Imagine a little banjo. I just wanted to start off with that because sometimes we don't think about what we're doing. We grab a bottle of oil, a bottle of pills, whatever you are using. We gulp it down, we run into our day. And I just really loved the mindfulness of giving thanks for this medicine. I'm going to stop my screen share here just so that I can make sure I'm sharing with you the slideshow now. So I hope that if you don't already, we can bring that into our practice. And I know I always need to be reminded, right? These little monkey minds can just get habitually in the routine and the mundane and, oh, I got to get the kids to school and I've got to be here at this time. That's our society. But we can always stop for a moment and just say thank you. And I wanted to say too that not everyone will have access to balsam fir to make this steam, but that's why I'm so grateful for these oils. If we're in the city, we could do that steam with the essential oil, right? So if we can't go gather and be with the plant, we can still be with the plant with the oil, which I love. So let me get the slideshow and then we will jump into the rest of our presentation. Can you guys all see that? Is that looking good?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just not seeing the button to blow it up right now. Oh, here we go. It's hidden under something. So look at this gorgeous, I just, as an artist, was in awe of these cones. They're so beautiful. I just sat and gazed at them last night when I was making this presentation for a little bit. So we spoke about traditional uses of the balsam fir. What I really loved learning was that the plant was used for making teepees, made to purify indoor air, and then made for medicine, right? And it's interesting that this medicine was used to help cellular health. And has been for a while, which I learned. And then right now in the north, I'm also recovering from a cold. So what perfect time to bring this plant in when some of us are having a little bit of the colds and the flus and the sore throats and the stuff that comes with winter, right? This tree says like, I know what to do. So I'm going to hand the mic to Louise. We break down our calls often with the body, the mind, and the spirit uses. And then we're also at the end of this call going to talk about our holiday blends too. So we'll focus at the beginning about balsam fir, but we will mention those holiday blends too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ariana. Oh, thank you to this beautiful aroma, this aromatic ally that comes from this tree that's native to the Northwest. And so I feel right at home with this scent. Just a reminder, we divide these calls up into body, mind, spirit, and we know there's no division, right? So we're just looking at all the different ways through different lenses that balsam fir shows up to help us with our healing. And when I teach about essential oils, I always teach about the categories that stick together. So like when we think of the tree oils, they have some similar characteristics to each other, and balsam fir is no different. So if you close your eyes and imagine that you are walking through a big forest of fir trees, conifer trees, cedar, pine, whatever, big trees, and you're walking on the ground, and the ground is sort of soft because it's all the needles that have been decomposing, and the air smells fresh and clear. And if you can picture yourself there, you can imagine just in that alone how this oil is benefiting your body on a physical, clinical level. So the tree oils tend to be, and balsam fir in particular, tend to be high in alpha and beta pinene and myrcene, and these are all terpenes. This is part of the chemistry of the oil. And these terpenes are really beneficial for our health in a lot of great ways, specifically for the lungs. So as you're picturing yourself in that forest, you can kind of feel how you're breathing, your lungs just expand easier. You can take in a big breath and really let it come all the way in. So these these terpenes help open up our airways and allow more oxygen to come into our body. We also know for our respiratory health that having the right flow of mucus in our lungs is important, and our bronchial tubes, and allowing the clearance of mucus. And we know that protecting our immune cells, our immune system is important too through our lungs, because our lungs interact with everything in the outside world that we breathe in. So these terpenes, these alpha, beta, pinene, myrcene, are helping on all those categories. So they're anti-infective. They help protect our lungs from threats, seasonal threats, and colds and flus, bugs that are going around. They loosen, they expand the airways. They loosen congestion and allow mucus to move more freely and clear. So that's why in the video, if you're listening to the podcast, you might not know that they were doing a little steam inhalation with the needles of the balsam fir. So that's a wonderful way to support your respiratory health during this season. Boil a little water, turn the water off, and then add your essential oil. Wait a minute for it to flash off, because they're very volatile, and they'll just like give you a big nose full of oil if you put your nose in too soon. Just a little, 30 seconds or so to let it flash off. And then cover your head with a towel and just breathe in the steam and the wonderful aromatic friend of balsam fir for your lungs. And then the other thing I think of when I'm thinking of that walk in the woods, and we now, there's all this research that supports forest bathing to support our health, right? And one of the ways is really our nervous system. And after a walk in the woods, you just feel more grounded. you feel like you are more centered, like you feel steadfast, like you have courage and like you can feel like yourself again. So it really allows that unwinding of the nervous system tension, the grounding, and that sense of really coming home to ourself. So that can help with all sorts of muscular tension, headaches, sleep problems, anything that has a root cause of nervous system dysregulation can be helped by simply breathing in this aromatic ally. And then lastly, the fir oils have been used for rheumatic complaints. So aches and pains, we know that these oils have wonderful anti-inflammatory effects and cellular health benefits support. So it just helps cells come back into alignment with their proper balance of reciprocity with taking and giving and reproducing and dying at the right times. So once again, thank you so much to these beautiful plants. And it's just such a privilege to connect with these oils and in this community that gives back so much as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. A little more about our balsam fir. So if you were listening or on the podcast, you also might not be seeing the slides. So balm is the name given to this tree, right? So it already tells you it's a balm, it's going to heal. I wanted to talk about what is in this little 5 milliliter bottle that we have, right? It is, maybe they didn't put it. Sometimes they put like how much plant goes into to making the bottles, and they don't have it on this one. But another reminder too is there are 1,400 published studies on the benefits of alpha pinene and beta pinene, which are two of the main chemical constituents in this oil. So if you are wondering, like sometimes, you know, people I know will say, oh, well, what's this natural medicine? It doesn't work. You know, there's just a little bit of skepticism. If you have, if you want, you can send them to the science and say, well, actually look at this chemistry and look at these studies. It's pretty phenomenal. Many people have known that before, but check it out. It is also one of the most popular species for Christmas trees. So we know that aromatherapy reminds us, it goes right to the limbic brain, and it reminds us of old memories, right? So this is going to be an association that many people have with Christmas trees, which can bring up, if you celebrate Christmas, can bring up a whole bunch of stuff, right? So that's just good to know. I love the idea of forest bathing, even in the city, if you can close your eyes and smell the oil. I know when we were visiting Turkey, I learned in Istanbul, you have to be incredibly wealthy to have one tree in your yard. It's a great luxury, right? So for people who don't have access to trees, what a beautiful way to bring them to you. We know that the wood oils are like trees. They are grounding, they are calming. As mentioned, they are beneficial to the nervous system. They are wonderful to use before sleep. They're going to emotionally help us relax, unwind, to feel held, to feel protected, to feel connected with our ancestors, to feel, that immune protection, the protection and love and gentleness. If we're grieving, bring in the tree oils. They're going to help support the lungs and the grief process. And so I know Mika and Louise have something special for us planned today too. So Mika, you want to share more?
Yeah, a couple things before we move on to with Louise again is balsam fir. When I was meditating with balsam fir, what I got was embodying respect, respect for yourself. It's crisp, it's bright, it's also finding your own agency. So, and what I mean by that is when you are scattered and your energy is not grounded, then you kind of might lose yourself and blend in with energies around you, where balsam fir is crisp and can clear your fields. And I've talked about the different fields in your body, but also bring you down in a gentle way so you can have respect. It's like it commands respect. I mean, even that video that we saw, it shows you like have respect for me and this plant medicine, and embody respect, and then embody respect for yourself. And yeah, it if you feel like you don't know who you are, or if you're going through a hard time and you're like, who am I? What am I about? That's finding your agency to me, that word, that phrase. Then you can help use balsam fir to help find yourself. And you will do that by grounding and not blending with the external energies. Because when your nervous system is amped up, people tend to expand outward rather than go inward and align this way and ground to the core of Mother Earth and the divine Father Sky, and then you as this beautiful bridge in between. So also, this came to me is this phrase, when there is a crack in the window, this is where the light gets in. And it's a reference to the lyrics from Leonard Cohen's song Anthem. So you can listen to Anthem, Leonard Cohen.
Do you have it up?
I sent it to Ariana, but I don't know if we want to play it.
Ari, do you think they can hear it? If people, it's so great. Just that phrase, just that little clip.
I don't have it prepped, so I think it would.
Okay.
But I think that if I'm remembering correctly, there's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. I believe that's the quote from Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, there's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. So that reminds me of the energy and the medicine of balsam fir. The light, the crisp light that can support you if you're going through a dark time or a heavy time, or a time where you're trying to find yourself. You might have lost yourself, or you're trying to reinvent yourself because of something that's, transition in your life.
And that's so relevant to the process of grief, right? It's the woven connection of deeply loving, right? Because there's always going to be death and endings in our life. That's just part of life, right? So whether it's a physical death or a ending of something, that love and that grief are just intertwined. And I love that quote and this plant medicine for that, because it goes so hand in hand. And you would just imagine the tree standing there, like with its old wisdom saying, it's like the grandparents saying, you'll get through this.
So, or just day to day, I'm feeling low or heavy or dense. I think I'm going to use some, or I feel like I'm losing myself just in this day. Okay, I'm going to use some balsam fir. I love it. I love balsam fir. Okay, so yesterday I had the privilege to be with Dr. Louise Rose and Dr. Josie, and we were in the sauna doing our oils. And Louise said, I want to share this with you. And we used some oils. We're going to use balsam fir today. And it's a really, really beautiful, deep, nourishing way of supporting yourself with this little practice. So I asked her if she would be willing to share it with us today. So all of you can experience what we did yesterday. It's good. Thanks, Louise.
Thank you, Louise.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. All right, so I'll just lead you through this little exercise, and we're going to be tapping different parts of our body. And so I'll just tell you what we're tapping, and then I'll show you, and then I'll say the phrase, and then you can repeat the phrase to yourself. And then after you repeat the phrase, keep tapping and just take a nice breath in and a nice breath out. And then we'll move to the next point. Okay. So go ahead and get your oils. You're ready. Just taking a couple nice inhales, allowing that aroma to move through your body. You might just notice where it goes. If there's any energy that feels blocked or numb or cold or distant, just bring awareness. You don't have to do anything about it. All right. And then we're going to start by tapping the top of the head. You can use your whole hand, you can use little fingers, whatever works, it all works. I open myself to higher inspiration.
To higher inspiration.
And the next point is the third eye point. I am hopeful, vital, and fully alive.
I am
I am
hopeful,
hopeful, vital,
vital,
and fully alive.
alive.
Using both hands now on the sides of the eyes. I assert myself peacefully, releasing all anger and resentment.
I assert myself
Peacefully, releasing all anger and resentment.
And then on the cheekbones, just above the eye. I trust in the process, sorry, just below the eye. I trust in the process of life.
I
I
trust
in the
the
process.
of life.
Left hand held out to receive, right hand taps the upper lip underneath the nose. I am grounded in gratitude.
I am grounded
in gratitude.
Switching hands, the right hand is out to receive, left hand we're tapping under the lip on the chin, just in your chin cleft area. And centered in spirit.
I am centered in spirit.
The center of the chest on the thymus area. I'm tapping with both of my hands. My immune system is strong and healthy.
My
My
immune
immune
system.
My immune system is strong and healthy.
And then just out from your sternum in that little ditch under your clavicles. I move forward with courage and with gentleness.
I move forward with courage
and gentleness.
And now rib cage, kind of above the spleen and liver points. I nourish myself with kindness, with tenderness, and with fierce compassion.
I
I
nourish
nourish myself with kindness, with tenderness,
and
and
with
fierce
fierce compassion.
And tapping our wrists together, base of our hands. I take good care of my heart and my hands.
I
I
take good care of
my
my
heart
heart
and
and my hands.
And then just rotating the wrists a little bit. So you're tapping the heart 7 point or the pisiform, the outside bump of your wrists, the pinky side. I fully, deeply, and completely love and accept all parts of myself.
I
I
fully,
fully, deeply,
deeply,
and completely
completely love
love and accept all parts of myself. And then we're stacking our thumbs on top of each other, tapping our wrists together. So the left palm faces the chest, the right palm faces away from the chest. Accessing the lung channel. I breathe in pure, clear chi and let go of stale, stagnant chi.
I breathe
I
in
breathe in clear,
pure
pure chi and let go of
Stale, stagnant
chi.
chi. And now the pinky sides of our hands come together, tapping the whole sides of the hands together. I know what I want. I am decisive.
I know what I want.
What I want. I am decisive.
And then right at the side of your nose, at the bottom where it meets your cheek, I let go of anger, fear, guilt, shame, and blame.
I let
I
go
go
of
of
Anger,
fear,
fear,
guilt.
Guilt,
and
shame, and blame.
shame.
Mhm.
Right. And big inhale, big exhale, and just tap all over your whole body, and just let that new programming connect to all parts of yourself. Let it keep on working to the rest of the day. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Louise. That was
Thank you.
wonderful.
Mm.
So
You're
needed.
welcome. Mhm.
Felt good. Thank you. We are going to move to now. Will's going to tell us about the traditional Chinese medicine uses of balsam fir.
Thank you. I really enjoy balsam fir. I mean, I love the trees in general, but for the uniqueness of balsam, it's not necessarily indigenous to Asia. More or origins from the Northeast part of the Americas. But we can look at, again, how Chinese medicine sort of principles can be applied to plants and how they act in our particular body. So for Chinese medicine, the flavor for balsam fir is bitter, pungent, it's warming, slightly warming, liver, gallbladder, and lung, and its affinity. And we can tell based on these qualities as to then how it can be utilized for our health and our well-being. So at the sort of physical level, this balsam fir can be really helpful, I think, with the resin, especially dealing with any skin, any superficial, because again, this nature of the ability to clear out any toxicity, any clear, if you actually, gently ask the tree and take the parts of the resin, it's very clear. It's very whitish clear sap that comes out. And so in that way, it has this, again, if it's clear or silvery, that typical coloration, even in Chinese medicine, has an affinity for the lung. So you can look at on the slide with balsam fir cones on the top there, there's that clear sap resin that is often harvested to deal with any type of cuts, any type of carbuncles, furuncles, any kind of skin issues, irritated, inflamed skin, even cuts, burns. And there was some even application of a wound and placing just that clear sap, that clear resin on top. And after a few days, it's healed. So the power of balsam fir in regards to the resin has always been used for inflammation. It has a lot of even nutrient qualities in survival, wilderness medicine. You can potentially use balsam fir, the cambium, as emergency food. It would be pretty intense tasting, but at least you get some calories ultimately if you're out lost in the forest. In terms of the needles, again, from the video, we look at Chinese medicine, any of those pine needles to fir needles as always useful for sort of, again, our bronchial system, upper respiratory system, to what we call normalize or balance out the mucosal lining. Oftentimes when we do get colds and flus, seasonal threats, it's because of that mucosal lining drying up. So, typical wintertime presentation, we're indoors more, we have the heat going, so it's a drier environment. And our mucosal linings of our throat, our nasal passageways gets dried up. And so that's leaving cracks, in our body where then bacteria and so forth can then interject into our system. So the nature of, again, balsam fir, if you literally put the resin, make a paste out of it even, or use the oil, essential oil that we have been gifted with by doTERRA, then it can really help, again, clear and safeguard these cracks at the cellular level, at the skin, at the mucosal lining level, to fortify and protect our wei qi, and again, in our Chinese medicine languaging, our protective layer. It also helps to induce or help with sleep by ultimately calming the nervous system, as we have all discussed. One interesting application was snow blindness, using the needles and the resin in a paste for snow blindness. So again, it's like when you're snow blind, or you have snow blindness, I guess, you can't see anything because of the reflection of sun onto snow, and it affects your eyes and your retina, and helping ultimately to open up the darkness, as we have all talked about, is pretty key to why maybe the balsam fir is used for traditionally for snow blindness. In terms of when I check in with balsam fir, it has I feel like it has this quality where it, because of the nature again of the pine needles, has this capacity to go to all of these what we call in Chinese medicine, like the far ends of, or the distal parts of our body, like the fingertips, the toes, the really small little micro capillaries of our body to, again, open up and to remove any stagnation. So again, balsam fir falls into this sort of overall impression in the tree use in Chinese medicine as a qi mover. But for what it is, balsam fir seems to be able to go to the deeper levels in terms of the far reaches of the body, like the fingertips, toes, for helping with circulation, for helping with joint pain. I've been applying, for me personally, balsam fir over the past couple of days to my knees and to my toes, because they've been feeling a bit more inflamed from running on more ice, more snow impact on our ground here in Colorado. But it seems to, again, help soothe that irritated joint spaces, especially those far-reaching joint spaces. So that's what I have for balsam fir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Will. Ah, such good stuff. I'm gonna go back here for a moment. So here are just some diffuser blends to stir your imagination. This one sounds pretty great. Holiday lights, 4 drops of balsam fir, 2 drops of peppermint, 2 drops of wild orange, and 1 drop of frankincense. And I can't read any of the others because of the way my screen is. Would someone mind reading one of the other ones that suits your fancy?
I think Snowy Calm looks really nice. That is 2 drops balsam fir, 2 drops eucalyptus, and 4 drops of cedar wood.
Mm. Yeah, and we know if you are hosting holiday events or going to them, this season can bring up a lot of emotions for people. So what a great gift to have, like some lovely diffuser blends, or to be wearing something that's just helping to calm and soothe. And most people like the smells of trees, so that's a pretty safe bet. So we're going to move on to close our call with our holiday oils. And I thought, because we have holiday joy, holiday peace, holiday love, and the Yule log, correct me if I'm wrong, if I need to add any, if I missed them, I thought we could just speak to them popcorn style and kind of talk about these blends. I wanted to remind people that sometimes our mind can kind of fixate on the name, and it can be like, oh, that smells really good. And holiday joy reminds me of cooking in my grandma's kitchen, Christmas cookies. It's got cinnamon in it. And we cannot really dive into like how medicinal and amazing these blends are. So for me, like holiday joy, I also use for my immune health and strength. And I rub it on my feet and I diffuse it for the lovely aroma, but also for the medicinal one. Holiday peace is tree oils. So we can go into that. I also wanted to make a correction. I want to thank Asha. There are 2 quotes, and I think my brain was confusing them. So as far as there's a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in. I think there's also a Rumi quote, and then there is a song lyric quote from Leonard Cohen. So I just wanted to give credit to both artists. Because
Oh yeah, Ariana, don't take the blame for that. I just thank you, Asha.
Humanity is most
Asha.
inspired. I'm pretty sure Leonard Cohen was probably inspired by Rumi.
Yeah.
I think Leonard was buddies with Rumi for sure. Yeah, and they both, I've loved both of those quotes for years and years, and I mix them up in my brain. But I just wanted to give Rumi a little quote too. We always like to correct any mistakes that we made, or if we make any errors, just to learn, oh, I was wrong. So thanks for correcting me. So who wants to share about, I just got Yule log, and I can look up some of the what's in these oils. I remember some of them. I'm loving the smell of Yule log. It just arrived in the mail, so I've only diffused it and rubbed it on my feet and just smelled it a whole bunch. Maybe we'll start with that one. Has anyone else received it? Does anybody have anything to say on it? I can pull up the blend and see what's in it. Is it too new? Is everybody still?
Yeah, no, I haven't totally. It reminds me, the Yule log. I haven't looked at all the ones, but of Hug.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of that as well.
Familiar with Hug, the cozy blend.
Yes.
I wonder if I'll have to look at what's overlapping, but it feels like energetically there's overlap potentially, but it's a winter blend. It's a yummy.
It's really good. We can move on. I'm looking at what's in here. Let's see, I'll tell you what's in here. I think it's currently sold out, as I understand, but if you have ordered it, you're very lucky because it is really phenomenal. I think it would be a phenomenal fragrance, like a perfume to wear. I would definitely wear it as that. And I'll tell you what's in it. It's very wood heavy, so it's going to have those nice bass notes. It says it's with rich timbers, cedarwood, siamwood, sandalwood, and nootka essential oils with the warm labdanum, which is used in the perfume industry for hundreds of years, and it's a really lovely scent, and citrus extracts. So you're going to get those top notes of citrus, which are going to brighten, lift the mood, which is so great in the winter when we're longing for the sun. And then let's see, it doesn't tell us what citrus on what I'm looking at, but it's just really, really divine. And then Holiday Joy and Holiday Peace are kind of classic. They've been around with us for a long time. And does anybody want to share how they use those? And you could use Holiday Joy and like cookie recipes. It'd be good for drinks. Does anybody have any shares of how they use those oils?
We use a lot of holiday peace and holiday joy just aromatically going on in our diffuser. We even use that when we hang up our tree, and doTERRA always seems to send us these ceramic ornaments that we then put the holiday peace and holiday joy onto. I actually personally use the holiday peace for the bottom of my feet. It helps ground me, helps with also a lot of that alpha pinene, beta pinene, helpful for inflammation. So anyone who is really at any point active, it's always helpful for keeping our healthy inflammatory pathways going and not stagnating.
And if you're into DIY, Holiday Peace and Yule log would be great for any kind of massage oil, bath salts, really good for sleep, really calming and relaxing in that way as well. And I just had an idea. If you've received doTERRA's little ornaments, I have quite a few over the years. I'm going to actually take the one, I think a little snowflake this year, and I'm going to use it in my car as a diffuser because you know those trees that are full of all that chemical toxic stuff? Why not bring one of those little ornaments? Because I have a tree, but you know, we don't need like all the oils on all the ornaments I have because I have a few. So if you want to diffuse anywhere, you could just hang that up. And if you don't have those, you can also use volcanic rock. Holds the essential oils really well too.
I already on that, Ari. So I have.
You did it?
Yeah. I have them all in my car. I have an old car, and we have like a little rat mice situation that love to like nestle up and eat all the stuff in the engine.
Oh,
You know,
no.
and so these are incredible. You stuff them, you get in the glove box, and you put the oils on it, and you stuff it and put it in the glove box because that's where they're getting in behind there. And then I have a little opening, and I put it there, and then I hang one in the car. And it's great if you're trying to ward off any mice or little critters from up residents in your engine situation, fantastic. But it's just the best car. What do we call that? Deodorant?
Diffuser?
Diffuser kinds of thing. Yeah.
You have dogs and you have a wet dog smell in your car. Yeah. Also, what you could do is that I really admire spiders, but I am a total arachnophobe. And I was driving one time and a spider was on my dash and I had to pull over and I was like, I could get in a car accident because my reaction is involuntary. And so the spiders dislike peppermint. And I've been noticing the spiders sometimes in certain seasons want to make little nests in my car. And I'm just like, this is not a good situation. So if you're like me and you have a little bit of a fear of that, that would be a great deterrent as well. And it keeps our little critters safe too, right? Like we don't want anybody nesting in our car. That's not the right home for these little guys.
Bringing the conversation back to our holiday blends, however.
Yeah. And the last holiday blend that we have is Holiday Love.
Can I add a little something about holiday peace before we move on?
Yeah.
Thanks. I just wanted to share that most of the oils in the holiday peace blend on an energetic level are really helping with our ancestral and intergenerational healing. And so I often will be diffusing the holiday peace blend just for that reason, because at the holidays, oftentimes we're with our families and a lot of stuff just comes up. And I find that if we're bathing ourselves in holiday peace, it can come up for it to be healed and metabolized and sent into the future.
Thank you, Louise. I just wanted to piggyback on that Will and I and our family have the privilege of living with my parents. Them. And so, and I saw Rebecca, she said she uses holiday joy and peace all year long. Yes, so do I. I run down the stairs and one of the first things I do is turn on all the diffusers in the house. And it's holiday peace or holiday joy. And all the things that you said, Louise, just transforming, moving through family, ancestral, crystallized patterns that we do not need anymore. I just love the holiday peace and joy. And also how great it smells. Like when I go in to take care of my mom, I put on her diffuser and it's usually holiday peace or joy. Yes. And Rebecca, what are all some of the, I just did put you on the spot, but if you don't want to be on the spot, that's fine too.
I've been using the Douglas fir. I remember in the A to Z about Douglas fir, you guys were talking about all the generational healing. It's one of the main things I've been telling people about, especially using holiday peace, because it's got a bunch of Douglas fir in it and it smells delightful. So people are bathing in it at the moment. Speaking of, forest bathing, that's a special kind of forest bathing.
Yeah. And all year round, hoard up, you guys, because and I just noticed it's a little bit extravagant, but I didn't even realize I was doing it. That's the oil I've been using for the last month, and currently on my dryer balls. And in with laundry detergent is holiday peace, because it's just smells so good on your sheets and in your laundry and everything. So that's a really good tip.
And by the way, if anybody wants to send me any, they don't sell it in Europe.
Oh.
So I have plenty at the moment. But if anybody's hoarding any and they want to send me some, by all means.
I think it's just such a great gift. They're selling that trio, right? That trio box that's still available,
Is it
right?
Peace, Love, and Joy?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's 3.
Yeah. That's such a great Christmas gift for people.
We get some
Or teacher gift or something.
I'm gonna get some of those for gifts, because I was like, right after, of course, this is what happens after this. I only have my one balsam fir and I want some more. You get more is by ordering 125 on your LRP before the 15th, and it's the what, 10th? So
Ninth.
it's a
Yeah.
lot more funky. So I think I'm going to do a couple more 200 orders, and then I'm going to get more presents with those.
Yeah,
My mind's
yeah.
already, the gears
Yeah,
are
exactly. Yeah.
That's how that
Mhm.
works.
I love it. I wanted to mention too that when we talk about generational healing, there's different ways to approach it. But as we mentioned, the chemistry of our tree oils helps with grief. And so for some, we're grieving the people that are no longer here. And that can come up when we have, the first Christmas without a loved one, or the first Hanukkah, or maybe you don't celebrate holidays, but you feel alone and you don't have family, or whatever may have, whatever your situation is. And so that chemistry is helping soothe our body. I know we keep emphasizing that, but isn't that a really beautiful thing to bring in? And so it's helping, and then it's also helping with the patterning we know that we learned from our ancestors, and we learn both, we're gifted with amazing ways of being in this world, but also humans that learn from others, and sometimes the habits that we learn are not so helpful in this lifetime. Maybe our ancestors developed it to survive, and that's what kept them alive at a time. So I bless that, but I also say, oh, I don't need to maybe have a fiery explosion of anger to my whole family for something small. Maybe that is not beneficial anymore. Maybe this style of communication is not beneficial anymore. Maybe this thing that I learned of how my dad reacts and then how I react, maybe it's time to put that to bed, right? So I encourage you to use the essential oils, the trees in particular, for bringing in that, so we can create new patterning, new languaging, new ways of reaction too, which it's a great time to play with this during the holidays, because family often triggers those deep lessons that we just are still here to learn, that we maybe haven't resolved yet.
Well said, Ariana. I'm gonna switch gears because Linda Hansen made a suggestion. Someone at the convention suggested using Holiday Joy with Yule log together. It smells wonderful.
Hmm.
So I
Nice.
would not have thought of
No.
that.
Wouldn't have
Me
thought of
neither. I'm gonna try it. It smells good. I know that whenever I use Holiday Joy or like anything with the cinnamon and clove, forgive me for being stereotypical, you guys. I don't know how to say this any other way. So, but a lot of men that I know just love that smell. It's like the smell of food, the smell of cookies. Women do too, but I just noticed, like I've noticed through the years, in particular, men will come in and be like, oh my God, what is that? So a little trick if you want to know how to, and kids are, all of us really, it smells like food and good stuff. So
Are we okay? Are
yeah,
we?
I think we're at time. Thank you all for being here and your contributions. I wish you a great
Yeah.
week. We're going to see you next Monday. As a reminder, the frankincense oil is on a promotion. So if you spend 200 PV, you get a free bottle of frankincense. Don't off the top of my head remember how much it is currently, because they changed the price, but it's around $70, $80, somewhere in there. And so it's a really good deal. So I know that I stocked up on frankincense.
And Ari, if you're on LRP and you do that before or by the 15th of the month, you will also get the
The
balsam fir.
balsam fir, yes.
It's a twofer. So that's the reminder for me to get my orders in before the 15th. And I'll wrap up here. Next week is our last week before the new year. We'll be taking the last 2 Mondays off because they're right around with Christmas and New Year's. So this is our last week of the call for a couple weeks, and we are very excited to have Erin Fugate, one of our original Visionary Leader founders, come, and this is her brilliance and her sweet spot. She is going to be speaking about when passion meets purpose and helping us set goals, our own personal goals for the new year
Mm.
and around goal setting. So please join us. She is a very inspired teacher, and we love having her on the call. So that's next Monday. And we will start up again on January 6th will be for the new year, coming back with our community and calls. And we don't have the exact schedule out yet, but look for it, everybody, because I can tell you we have some very, very special speakers in January and February and ongoing. With the addition of Marty Harger and her team, we're getting some, I don't want to give it away, but
No, joking.
like, think of who would be your most excited person to have come on the call, and it just might be that person.
Oh,
So,
let's just drop a bigger hint than that.
oh, really? I don't know. That's a pretty big hit. Oh, okay, Aisha's coming in. Aisha's
You
coming
guys
in.
want to know who's coming in January? Raise your hand.
Yay!
Dr. Hill. Dr. Hill will
Amazing.
be hosted by the Visionary Leaders in January, along with a lot of exciting speakers being lined up in 2025. So make sure and look for the schedule. We'll have it out soon.
Be
Thank
well,
you all
my
so
friends.
much.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye.
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 Happy birthday, Mika.